Are you ready? Are you ready to pod it up?
Let's go. Let's have fun.
Pete-cast it. This is the Simply Youth Ministry Podcast with Doug Fields,
But we are an award-winning podcast. We ought to start promoting that.
Matt McGill.
Welcome to episode 163, To Be Continued. There are a lot of changes talked about this show, and in fact it is Doug's last one, but don't worry, the Simply Youth Ministry Podcast will continue. Watch for more details later this summer.
Podcast@gmail.com.
Yay! Hey everybody, welcome to the Simply Youth Ministry Podcast.
Oh, big
episode
things happening.
163.
Way to jump right in there.
Doug Fields here with my dear friends Matt McGill, Katie Edwards, and Josh More Than Dodgeball Griffin.
I think you should finally talk about who your dearest of friends is.
I think that's fair. I think it's
that's how we
time
should
to
start out.
announce.
Katie's my favorite female.
Clearly.
Then
Not
here's
Griff.
You're my longest. You're my longest term friend at the table.
That's true.
And I have more fun with Josh than anybody.
there you go. There we go. Show's over. It's a great run. Great run, guys.
Very difficult.
That's all I needed to hear.
Show's over? What are you talking about?
Well, we have sent Twitters out, things like that, saying this is the last, in quotes, Simply Youth
Quote,
Ministry
unquote.
podcast. First of all, let me start by saying I want to thank Simply Youth Ministry for allowing us to do this live show.
Totally.
It's very, very cool. They pay for this and support it and the whole bit. And they have a simplyyouthministry.tv channel that hosts our show, and they've invested a lot of money into this. So grateful for the crew at Simply Youth Ministry to let us do a live show, because they didn't have to.
I'm glad they did too. It's going to be fun.
It's a very, very good thing.
How's your sternum, Matt? You
That's
okay?
great. I just, every once in a while, I need to crack my 8 order, and that's what I just did.
All that weight you lost on the show, no less.
Yes,
And now
because of the show, actually.
it would be
I
fun
thought
to have
the
a
big deal was the
montage.
fact that I was moving to Irvine, and I finally found a place.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
is
the big
part of
news.
Isn't that what the
deal.
whole show's
The big
about?
news.
We should have a
That is the big
montage
news.
showing your weight over the show.
Sure.
It would be.
All right, well, let's get into the details
Yeah.
of the show, Katie. You and I have talked the least over the last couple weeks, but I thought we'd get this out of the way. All that's happening, although there's a press release on DougFields.com. But Kathy and I started Simply Youth Ministry, who is in the room, is in the house, my queen, who came in and handed me something, and I think her rear end was on the camera on the live show, and she didn't know. Oh,
Sorry
I
about
wasn't supposed to say whose it was.
It would have been a secret.
It was an anonymous person's
So now you
rear
and
end.
Natalie have something in common.
Oh, best show
So
ever.
we started
So
Simply Youth
funny.
Ministry many, many years ago in our garage, and then Simply Youth Ministry grew very large, and then in
In spite of me losing
2006,
product.
Matt did lose a lot of product. When I would go speak at places, and he was like a college student or intern or something like that,
yep.
he would carry it. When we'd do in beginning and ending inventory, and never matched up. Just never matched up.
He would call it shoplifting or shrinkage, but we know he
I mean,
just.
boxes.
We counted everything one
boxes.
time, and it was like $900 short. And it's like, look, I realize I'm a moron, but I don't lose $900.
That's a lot.
That is a lot,
That's a lot
of
of
money.
stuff.
That's a
So
lot
maybe it
of
was bad
hamburgers.
counting at the beginning. Anyway, all that to say, many years ago in the garage, which grew into a large resource company, which was getting too crazy for Kathy and I to do at the same time, being a full-time youth pastor. So in 2006, 5 years ago, we merged with Group Publishing. One of the best decisions I ever made in my life. It was great. I didn't have to run this anymore, the whole bit. And look at all the incredible stuff that has happened. Andy Brazelton, who is in our youth group, runs it. Dear friends at group, the whole bit. But 2 years ago when I left Saddleback Church, I felt God doing some stirring in my life, and I didn't know what that was. And as you guys know, you left, what do you mean, you're leaving to nothing? And obviously I've been doing youth ministry, speaking, training, all that kind of
yeah.
stuff. And then this year joined my youth pastor and mentor, Jim Burns, to do stuff at Homeward and Azusa. And then recently have just joined Youth Specialties to help Mark Matlock kind of grow Youth Specialties. And it was a tough decision because I love everything about. Nothing was weird. Simply Youth Ministry was gracious to me, offered me to continue going on. It wasn't like they said, we don't want you anymore. They offered, made a wonderful offer. But as you know, especially you, but you guys all know, I'm a builder. I'm not a maintainer, and just Simply Youth Ministry is booming, and I'm not doesn't need me as much as I think. What are you laughing at?
Yeah, what's
That I'm
the
a
good
builder?
one?
No,
Or I don't like
no,
to maintain.
I just was laughing. No, neither of those.
Are you a good director of the builders?
I just was still laughing at the fact that that day that I lost $900 from
You were back.
I was still back on that because we actually were throwing a football back and forth in your house too, and I accidentally threw it too hard and hit you in the face. It was kind of funny. And
That's funny.
Yeah,
I don't even
Sorry
remember
about
that. Yeah. Anyway, all that to say that I've made a transition to join the Youth Specialties team, and I'm very excited about that in the future. And I really like the new executive director, Mark Matlock, and every time I spend time with him, I like him more. I'm excited about that, and that pulls out some of the builder in me. So I'm thrilled about that. But what does it mean? It means that I was trying to think of an illustration, like, it's changing channels. Who's the lady you mentioned today is leaving the Today Show?
Meredith Vieira.
And is she just going to another network?
I don't know. I wasn't paying
Katie
Katie
Couric
Couric has a show.
That'll work. We'll keep
There
the
you go.
analogy going.
Okay,
There we go.
there you
We're
go.
So
back
it's
in.
just going to another network.
Yeah.
So I got to start this network,
It's
and
like
now
LeBron James going
So
from
now
one
you-
team to another team.
Yeah,
maybe?
so you-
I don't know. Does he?
What
switch
channel?
teams?
What channel? Are you going to Bravo? Are you going to E? Where are you going?
Probably Bravo.
TBS.
I love Bravo. It's so bad, but I love it.
TBS.
I don't know. But here's
TLC.
Here's the deal. We're changing networks, whatever, but I still get to be Doug Fields and still do youth ministry and
That's
still do what I love to do. And
And there's always DougFields.com. No matter what happens, that will always be with us now.
Look at their gratuitous. Now this is this is a sensitive show, right? So we need to. Do I need to tone down some of the jokes that I like to make and
no,
stuff like
you
that?
just be yourself. Because here's the deal.
There's so many inappropriate things I want to
But-
say that,
but here's the
that
deal.
aren't even true.
Is Simply Youth Ministry. They're gonna rebrand or redo some type of podcast. I don't know what that is because they have Simply Youth Ministry TV. But the four of us have said for a long time we would continue to do this even if no one listened. The difference is
Which now no one will be.
No one will
We'll
listen.
literally be at lunch together every.
well, that's what I was thinking. Is if we did it, if no one listened, we would call that lunch.
Exactly.
But, we have stacked hands to say that the four of us, we're just going to take the show independent.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We're going to podcast the entire show on just an iPhone.
There you go.
Why not?
There you go. And this could be our.
And we're going to Hawaii.
From Hawaii. I mean, I'm back in. I'm in. Let's do this.
So anyway, we put some details on DougFields.com/podcast.
Yeah.
And we're saying to our team members who are very loyal and faithful and saying.
Insane at times.
Yes,
but
and,
yes.
and saying, "Hey, help us with this," because what I made the first donation, not only on my credit card, but yesterday. I haven't told my wife this yet, which this is a drag that she's here right now. But I bought a video camera.
Yeah.
Bought a video camera for the show.
All
So
by
I-
yourself?
yes, by myself.
No,
Oh,
it wasn't
boy.
by himself.
We'll
Oh,
be
did you
sending
help
it
pay
back.
for it?
No, pick
Oh,
it
I thought
out
that's
and
what she
every-
was
no.
referring to.
Pick it out.
You thought that's what she was.
Yeah, we know you'd be the one paying for it.
No.
I mean,
I asked the same.
No,
I
Matt-
answered the same question 6 times about that camera.
And I bought it.
Yeah, perfect.
I bought it. Josh approved it. Matt
I did.
suggested
I did.
it. I paid
We're
for
just-
it, much like life has been for years.
I'm like, good idea.
Go for it.
So we bought the camera and made the first donation on PayPal. And so if any of our podcast friends would like to,
Yeah. So it's the
support
last
the
show, but it's really like a to be continued. We just got to figure out how we're gonna.
no,
Yeah.
it'll, for the four
Yeah,
of
I
us,
like
it's
it.
going to continue.
Dun dun dun.
And so we
you
have,
like that?
we already had one of our friends.
That wasn't really a great joke that Kathy laughed
It's
at.
just between Kathy
I
and
mean,
me.
I-
Don't
It's like-
worry about
I
it.
hate
humor.
to
It's okay.
criticize
Just
Kathy,
because Kathy thinks I'm funny.
who's like
well, I'm
my
just
mother, but
jealous.
still.
Mother
Well,
slash crush.
here's the deal. We've had
Brazel.
we've had a couple donations. We had $100 gift.
Wow.
We had a couple
That's
$10 gifts already. So when we can afford all the equipment, we will make it happen, and we'll
Alright.
be back on. So we're asking our loyal friends that want to be a part of it
So
to.
perfect.
And then what
do
we'll
it.
do is we'll brainstorm gift ideas.
So good. So
we'll,
if they.
we'll give a gift.
All right. So if you donate money, we will
We'll do some gift. We're not sure what the gift is, but that's what we'll do at lunch day. We'll brainstorm what those gifts could be.
autograph napkins. We could do something.
We should give away that sign.
A lock of Fields' hair, which would
we could
leave
only-
much left.
We can only do a few gifts.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's enough of that.
Fun.
We'll more about that. And so what I thought, what I did is I printed out some of the, because yesterday I said our last, and I put in quotes, our last
show, yeah.
SYM podcast, because this is our last SYM. It won't be our last podcast.
Yep.
But the first one to figure it out and saying, are you guys just changing the name, was our friend Brian Seidel.
Oh, well played.
And so, Brian, congratulations on that. That means
He
you
gives a
need
picture
to,
for the new wall.
you need to donate double
Free gift.
on that one.
No problem.
But he figured that out, and I thought, why don't we in this era of podcast, do we want to comment on our favorite podcast moments?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How long have we been doing this show? Did we do this?
163 episode is like
translate
4
that into
years.
4 years?
4+, right? We do 30
So
something
we did
a
this
year.
before it went to group?
No,
Oh, we started after.
yeah, because Chris was hired
It was 4 years ago this weekend.
4 years ago this weekend.
Wow. Really?
Wow, it's a 4-year
Really?
run.
But we had a superb technician before Chris came.
That's true. I don't remember his name, but he was...
49.
Okay, you started at show 49.
We did 50 shows on our own?
Well, 49.
Well,
Well,
that's,
0-0.
I round
you're
up.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
That's right,
0-0.
Katie, we started
Wow.
while you were just a little girl.
Just growing up, you're knee high, just
Yeah.
running
Just,
it up.
just
And,
a Savai.
and Matt would and I've said this before. I think my favorite, most awkward moment was when the alligator guy, what's his name? The died.
Remember
The
that?
crocodile
Oh
hunter.
my goodness.
When the
That's
croc-
back when I was the technician.
Yeah, when
putting
the
together music.
crocodile
Steve
hunter
Irwin.
died. Steve
Steve
Irwin,
Irwin
the
passed
dentist.
away.
And Matt would do musical intros for each show.
Which were superb.
And so Matt mixed this, and we haven't heard any of it before the show starts. And we know that Steve Irwin died that day, and we've got the list of youth ministry questions.
He
Very
dies from a stingray sting to the heart. He dies instantly as he's filming
and I
a
wish
show
I
or
knew the
whatever.
band. I don't know the band who.
I don't know either.
Guns N' Roses?
No.
No, I think it's before them.
Bon Jovi. There it is.
It is Bon Jovi.
So the song comes on. Shot through the heart.
I thought that was a fitting tribute.
The most unbelievably insensitive moment ever.
Yeah.
Because it happened like 24 hours before we did the show.
Yeah.
It was-
Well, and
it
we
was
had.
hilarious.
I was telling somebody
was
the other
pretty
day about
insensitive.
our early bits that we thought we used to do the show. It's kind of Katie's new because.
Yeah,
When
we're-
did you start? What show?
Like
She's
in
been
the
around for like 5
130s,
shows.
I think. 130.
Okay. So you've done like 20, 30 shows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Got a
It's
year under
felt
your
like
belt.
you've been here the whole time because you're so darn good.
Agreed.
But we used to weigh Matt, and however many pounds he was over 300. So if he was 322 pounds, it would be a 22-minute show.
It's very cruel, wasn't it?
And at one point, it was a 40-something minute show.
Probably.
That's funny.
Jiminy
Well, that's
Jim.
No,
those are-
that was fun.
Yeah, Shot Through the Heart, my favorite.
Oh,
one.
so strong.
What about you, Josh?
Well, we alluded to it earlier, but the show where Natalie didn't remember where the camera was, and for a long period of time was reaching over the table with only her butt facing the
Derriere.
camera. It was hilarious, and it just was so funny. And then when she found out what she'd been doing for a minute,
We got a lot more podcast listeners after that.
it was just one of the
Our
funniest.
live show the next week was very impressive.
And Natalie,
More
for those
youth
that
workers.
that was 150 shows ago.
Yeah.
She was in Katie's spot for a long time, and
Have there only been 3 girls?
there's only been 3.
we
There's
like
been-
to call them women.
Women. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, 3 women.
I like to just say it's Katie's spot now because she's.
Yeah.
But we had Natalie, who was hilarious and awesome and fun, and Jana Sardi for a long time.
But
in the
Natalie
seat
knew
and
no
did
youth
great.
ministry. She was the
No.
graphic designer at Simply Youth Ministry.
Pastor's
she
kid.
grew up in a
Pastor's kid.
pastor's family. Very fun, very bubbly. She was wonderful.
Yep.
But
Hated being there.
But did it out of
she-
obligation.
No, she
Yeah.
enjoyed the camaraderie. She just didn't have much to offer when it came to youth ministry.
Yeah.
And
And
she had-
Jana,
Cowbell.
Oh, the
She did
cowbell.
Someone
I did
didn't
like
do
that.
their name, right?
that's right.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then Jana came to follow. Jana did not like being
unbelievable.
here, but as you know, Jana has incredible wisdom. And
Yeah,
she's
very much
Loves
so.
her so much.
I don't
And,
know if I'd say she's got incredible wisdom.
okay. Let's. say
But pretty
she
good.
has-
Yeah,
she
pretty
has more
good. I'm
wisdom
with
than
you.
That might be true.
He's really wise. I would say incredible.
But
She-
she,
she
moved
praised
to
her later.
Seattle. One of my other favorite moments was you watching the live show in
Oh, it was
Chicago,
good. Yeah.
and I had asked you to be a part of the show, and Janet's last show, and I'm texting you under the table, are you going to do it? Because you didn't know what you were getting into.
Yes.
And
That was definitely a fun moment. And I was sitting by Greg Farah, who I
Yeah.
love, and he's like, is Doug texting you right now? Is it you? Is it you? It was really funny.
And it was.
And then we announced it live
Yeah,
right there
right
that
there,
Katie's the replacement, and you've
That
done
was fun.
incredible.
Well,
yeah.
and what's fun is, I mean, one, we all have great relationships and chemistry, but you have, Katie, all junior high background. You know, Josh is all high school right
yep.
now. Matt is all the
Nothing.
future of the church. Now,
Not the future
just
of the church
eternal
anymore.
wisdom.
Yeah.
now you're just
not a whole
you're
lot of
just a
opinions.
youth pastor at another.
And we
church.
have the volunteer perspective.
the the aging volunteer
Exactly.
perspective. this
Retired youth.
the non-stereotypical volunteer. It's
senior
good.
citizen. You need old people in your
Yeah,
Just
just-
your parents.
We use him as a greeter now. Hey, what's up? Welcome to you.
Get on in there.
All right, you got one.
Favorite moment? Go.
Well, I liked doing the live show at this a year later
Yeah.
at group. I thought that was super fun.
That was cool.
It just was fun to see everybody's faces because we, names and the matching faces of
Yeah.
the team and like people
and all
that
the
appear.
insider stuff they knew.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
it was so fun to kind of feel like, oh, we answered your question or we
Yeah.
talked about you or your face is on the wall. So
Yeah.
that was definitely a real
That's
highlight.
strong.
That
It's
was
always
really fun.
surprising me too when we've done those live shows that there is a line to get in.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
always like, why would people
Yeah, the
do
room
that?
was packed. It was so
And that was a
great.
huge room. That was really
It was
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I mean, there's only a line because the door was closed.
And it was free pizza, and there were free T-shirts,
Yeah.
and there were free
And we gave
resources,
away
and there.
books, and we paid people to be
Yeah.
there. But other than that,
Hey, dude, get in this
still-
line. $20. Here you go. But man, the anticipation when those doors
a little bit of
open.
reality here.
Yeah.
Any other favorite moments? Those are good. Those are fun.
I mean, pretty much every moment's my favorite moment.
The
Don't
episode-
show favorite
My
because
favorite piece of advice that you gave people was when you told people to write it down.
it was strong.
I think
Yeah,
you're
there's
mocking
no,
You don't
me.
show
there's no
favoritism?
question that we're very practical.
Very
Yeah,
practical.
very practical.
My new intern started yesterday, and one of
That's
the things
what-
on the
that's-
list was my
write
good
it
friend Matt
down.
McGill says write it
Write
down.
it down.
Write it down.
Oh, God.
We've actually had people
Getting
that
things
write
done. David Allen.
write in and say, when I first started listening to you guys, I didn't like it. There's too much goofing around.
But-
and then they've
yeah.
come back to it, and they, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you
who
can't
likes
stop.
the process
You
of
can't stop.
sanctification at first? Nobody.
Exactly.
Well said.
Well, here is some, because it's kind of like a funeral before you die, with
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not really a funeral.
Last show.
Like we
Alright.
said at the beginning, we'll be back later this summer.
They have that. They have funerals before you die.
We are right now.
Yeah.
We're celebrating our
Never been
own
to one.
death right now.
Yeah, like
That
when
sounds
somebody...
like something a
memorial,
cult would do.
maybe. I don't know.
Say that again,
Like
Keith?
a memorial, like a tribute.
Yeah,
before you
like
die.
you lived a long life.
you
You
had
know
a
you're going to
bad
die
day.
We're
soon.
celebrating you.
Like a
Yeah.
roast. Could my funeral be a roast? That would be
I
great.
think it will. You don't have to.
You don't have a choice, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
No.
I'd like to be sitting in a chair with some sunglasses.
Dude, instead of a
holding
casket,
a sign saying, glad you're here.
that is great.
A high
This is Matt's last will and testament. Say it, dude.
He just did.
That,
And
Yeah.
toss us a little bit of money. What do you think?
I've got none to toss.
Come on, it'd be so.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Oh, here we go.
He doesn't. I didn't say anything. All I'm
Being
reinforcing.
made fun of.
So this is from John Batch.
We gotta get into
Location
Doug's
vitals
one.
withheld for security reasons. He says, Doug, Josh,
Not the-
Katie, and Matt, it comes with great emotions that I send this email. On a selfish side, I wish the podcast would go forever.
Oh,
Well, John, it will. DougFields.com/podcast.
Or start over at zero.
PayPal. Since it is such an important part of me and my ministry. On the other hand, we need to realize everything must come to an end, or at least see some changes.
Yeah.
Hints to the host.
Yep, things change.
Are you the host?
I don't know. I'm looking at Katie.
Hints to the host.
I don't know, I feel
I'm very
like-
thankful for all the great conversations we shared as a team. I'll miss those moments. You don't have to miss them. With all the great ideas and tips, I think it'll be very appropriate to have a top 10 list of the following topics: the various stages of McGill's hair,
Oh, we did have long hair, McGill. Mop
Many
hair.
faces of McGill.
the various ways Josh is asked to eat out for free stuff.
Outback.
Still waiting for your free stuff from Michael W. Smith. Hey, speaking
Got
of
it.
that, one of the things that we had talked about the other night is
Yeah.
sponsors. We need.
Oh, Michael W. Smith should sponsor the show.
That was one of my favorite moments when we had a big picture of Jeremy Camp and he had super red lips. He was really on the edge before all the vampire stuff hit.
Well,
yeah, a little ahead of his time.
remember how Griff was blown away that I didn't know who he was?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't personal when I said he had vampire lips, but now
But it
I guess
became
is,
personal,
since I do
yeah.
know his name.
Didn't he eventually hear the show, or somebody told him about it, or something?
I think he thanked us.
That's what it was. Thanks for making him big, or something.
Yeah.
Taking his career taking off.
Giving him a platform. Hey,
Finally.
that's what we could do, you guys. That's
We
what
could-
we could do that for sponsors.
Give young artists a platform.
I'll
We're
give
like
you
the
a
new
couple ideas.
MySpace.
U Specialties might sponsor.
Yeah.
Azusa Pacific University might sponsor. Yeah, those are my two.
I like it. Those are good.
Homeward and Azusa Pacific
Oh,
are the same thing.
Yeah.
They are? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Same
Those
different.
are
All right, what do you
organizations
bring
you're
to the
involved
table?
with, aren't they?
Yeah.
What do you bring to the table? What do you got? Potential sponsors.
I will sponsor this with truth and wisdom. What do you talk about?
Okay. All right. You win.
And the solid foundation on which the shenanigans can rest.
All right.
Process of sanctification.
Top 10 worst questions along the way and the worst advice given. Maybe a list of Matt McGill sports instructional videos. Top 10 things
given.
you have bought, or better yet, given away. You would have bought or given away if Andy would have allowed it. You know, we should go on record to say, even though we give Andy a lot of crap for being a cheapskate,
This is good. That's a good point.
he's very gracious. Anytime we give stuff away, he only gets mad for a little bit.
And he made you say that too, right?
No, he did not.
Just
He's-
kidding.
He is
he's
incredible.
the
You're
best.
right, though.
He's
We've
very-
given a lot of stuff
We
away.
can't let Brazel off the hook just because we're not going to be doing this together.
It's the last
That's-
show. We
that is
can
the
we
most
can
mentally
say
weak thing I've
thank you
ever
for
heard in
being
my life.
generous, Brazel. There, I said it.
There, you said it. You didn't mean it. Just kidding.
All right,
He's a
from
generous dude.
Lyle
Go.
Parker. He
None
says,
of
"Wait,
that's true.
this is a joke, right? Why would you abandon the team? You've all been such encouragement over the past 5 years." Oh, so maybe it has been 5.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. You got here 4 years ago, Chris? So it has been 5.
I think we started this before it was gone to group, which is not proper English, but
I think you're right. I think we did too.
Well, maybe it was simultaneous because you did 50 episodes before
Well, let's
Chris,
look
right?
into that.
it can't be that hard to figure out. The
Either
date.
way,
Yeah.
we've been around way too long. What?
Seriously, Time for a change.
163 hours of our life have been doing. That's crazy.
Thanks for being a sounding board to so many. Lyle from Fayetteville, you are welcome. One of my other favorite show moments was when McGill and I did it in Germany.
Oh,
we did the
with
show in-
Hollywood.
and we did it with a German.
Yeah, I skipped that one.
We did it at a castle. No, it's great.
Where
Remember that?
because the three of us live very close to each other, and Matt Howe has bought a house
Oh,
about
Matt.
15 miles away. Where should we do the new podcast?
In Irvine, obviously.
Over by where you live and where we don't.
Yeah.
It's 3-1, so I think
Yeah.
it's obvious. It's got to be
But
around
what
here.
about some different fun locations?
Oh, Outback,
Okay.
That's a great location.
Lone Star,
Okay.
Ruth's Chris.
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean,
Who's
if
going to pay for all these?
Only
I don't
steak
know.
places.
only steak places, I like
I
it.
could build a studio in my garage.
We
do it
could,
there.
we could. There's a ton of places, but I think the best ones are all around here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do too.
I think in a train yard could be fun.
An abandoned warehouse.
Yeah. Look for
I was
some
thinking
hobos.
jacuzzi.
Oh, I like that. Although I'm not quite ready for swimsuit season yet. Matt is.
Oh, I'm always ready for swimsuit season, but I think that's just a little too.
It may be too loud.
You guys don't put enough chlorine in yours. It's got a little.
It
algae.
does. I've been meaning. Yeah.
No, just kidding.
I haven't even been in.
Come on.
All right, this
total
from
get.
Mike Farmer.
He's like, what are you talking
He's like,
about?
wait, my jacuzzi's awesome.
I just saw Matt and Doug's comment about tomorrow being the last podcast. This is something I really look forward to viewing. I patiently wait for you to find a common time to do the podcast. Maybe the schedule that Matt has with his new position and the schedules of you, Josh, and Katie just do not make it work. My request is please do not give up on the team.
We are not
Mike,
giving
your
up.
request
That's
has
lovely.
been granted at
We're so committed to this
dougphills.com/podcast.
new podcast that I jumped back into graphics design to pull this off. Really.
Graphics. Cool.
That's he was so excited when he came in. He went to Riley, for those that don't know, our graphic designer at Simply, and
Riley's got
And-
competition now.
Matt
I'm
put something on
freelancing
my,
for Brazel.
on my blog that says
Podcast
podcast
news.
news. And it's bright yellow. It's terrible, and it has like a logo thing on it from Matt.
It's pretty bad.
You gotta
Because
see it.
I'm excited to see it.
it's perfect.
Your debut.
It is. It's
Yeah,
not
Riley
graphics design.
has-
I do much more than graphic design. I do multiple graphics. I do graphics design.
Dude,
Totally.
I would expect.
the
there's
same
your new
time.
blog name, much more than graphics design.
Seriously.
Rob Cunningham from Sacramento, California.
I know Rob.
It's been a wild ride. Your early podcasts were remarkable demonstrations in creativity, spontaneity,
Whoa, early?
and community.
And pronunciation.
He's out of youth ministry now. That's
So
probably
he
why.
doesn't. Oh,
Yeah, too many highlights to recall them just in one email.
we could at least try.
The vibe has been contagious. I suspect that each youth worker whose name was read on the air experienced that same tingling sensation
tingle!
I did when it happened to me. Well, maybe not. Anyway, thanks for being there to answer real-life, legit questions in the trenches and being there to offer minutes of humor, a glimpse at true community, and memories that will carry on in the youth ministry lore for years to come.
Where's the youth ministry lore?
This
I'd like
is
to
an
see that.
award-winning
That's
podcast.
true.
It is.
It was award-winning before Katie got here, and I think Katie needs to bring it back to
award-winning status.
yeah. And you know what? Here's what we need. We need from our team not only to be involved, but we need ideas of names. So podcast at dougfields.com. That's the email.
Oh, cool.
We need names of what the podcast is going to be. Any bit ideas.
Josh doesn't want to call it podcast anymore.
That's where we're
I-
talking about
I'm
calling it the
saying
show.
Move away from the
Move away from
podcast,
podcast.
word. Yeah, because
About
podcast
podcasting.
5 years ago when we started, it was the thing. It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now I think it's still in Apple's eyes. They want it to be a thing, but it's not. It's-
iPod podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we
Well,
could be a sitcom.
We talked about
we
this
could be
the
a
other
something,
night
but,
because the reality is if we call it something different now, nobody's going to know. So we need to call it the podcast because that's what people know.
that's fair.
Susie Ralph, I can't believe you're stopping. I just started listening
Disagree.
and was rewinding. I thank you for all the resources and we'll miss you all the time. Speaking of our rewind and our 0 wall,
Oh, yeah.
we've got to take those pictures and
With us.
yeah. Jason Underwood.
Not all of them.
Jason's on
Some
the
of
board.
These guys are a little ugly.
Matt.
Just kidding. Why, you called him creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, favorite moment.
But I did apologize to the guy.
Secretly, and
Yeah.
then, you know.
I'm sorry. That's what the host
What will
does.
be whispered in secret will be shouted from the rooftops.
Eternal
I'm the
wisdom
shouter.
from Matt McGill, and I'm the shouter. There it
This show
is.
is full of your sound bites. So.
It is. Jason Underwood, who is Katie. Jason Underwood. Early on, our first live show, we needed somebody to run the mic back and forth, and there was a competition between Jason Underwood and
Another guy. See that we forget
Some
second
nameless
place.
person
Yeah.
who's not part of youth ministry lore.
yeah. But Jason won. Jason actually may have even lost, but we just remember Jason won.
No,
Yeah.
Jason won.
Did he win?
Yeah, because he did it.
Yeah.
He did the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jason already today
It's
has
been
made.
fun to connect with him
He
over
has
the
made
years.
a PayPal donation to our show.
Oh. Maybe it was anonymous.
Too late.
You just took
Yeah.
the crowns out of his jewels. Or jewels out of his crowns.
And maybe he'll donate again to the Jules.
I have a new favorite moment. It's just
Oh, you're horrible. Seriously, you can't I can see saddlebacks in the gutter. What is going on over there?
Okay, he writes, thank you, Doug, Matt, Josh, Natalie,
Embarrassed a little bit.
Jana, and Katie for half a decade of laughter and wisdom and for allowing us to
5
join you at the
years.
podcast table. Through the podcast, you've lifted my spirits, given me advice, shredded my eardrums, so that was
Sorry.
mainly just Matt, and made 6-hour solo drives fly by. I'd like
one
to
of those
especially
cackles of
thank
me.
Doug and Matt for not limiting our friendship to just a bit on the show. You guys have provided wise counsel, gone out of your way to spend time with Kathleen and me.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Love is every day. You guys are great friends. We laugh together, cry together, pray together. Jason, you're wonderful.
Awesome.
And then when he finds out, after he made the donation, he finds out you couldn't have posted that on the show before I sent you that sappy email.
That's funny.
Jeff Booze. The news makes me sad. I
Moonshiner.
just started listening 2 months ago. I started with 00 and I'm now on 36.
Why is he going
Good
so
news
slow?
is I won't be as sad as the people who have listened to all the podcasts already. Well,
Yeah.
they're not going to have to be sad.
Yeah.
You know, one of the favorite things I like is that people that write that know us so well, that incorporate bits into their questions.
Yes.
And, you know, we decided a few minutes before the show, Katie, you were late, so we just took this stack of questions. We said, let's don't do questions.
She was with us.
Let's
Yeah,
just
she'll
do a
work it.
goodbye
Don't give a
show.
crap.
I didn't, you don't have to say where she was.
Fine. I can
Oh,
take
she
my,
could have
I can
been in
take
her-
She was volunteering at a homeless
Lateness.
shelter.
She could have been in her prayer closet.
That's right.
I know that feeling.
I
Up
went
top.
to it there.
his prayer rug, not a closet.
Yeah.
Or that's a large closet.
That's a walk-in.
It's a lay down.
Anyway, this guy Britt Holden, he says, subject, you guys never answer my email.
Well,
Why
course-
start now?
Well, here, that's the bit.
no, I was gonna say he's
So
done.
Then he writes and he says, the reason you never answer my emails is because I haven't sent one until now. I just know that Doug will much more likely not throw out this email.
That is a
Throw it out. Throw it out.
Statement.
Well, we're not doing questions today anyway.
Goodbye.
We have a here's a couple things that we will do
Funny.
in the new show.
I think I have a growth happening right here.
It says don't let Josh have Tic Tacs on the show anymore. So Josh, we're gonna have some food rules.
How come?
This is from Joshua Dennis.
They were delightful. Orange Tic
All we
Tacs.
heard last episode was him eating candy.
I had like 30 Tic Tacs too. My breath was delightful.
And Joshua also says, I love the new Matt. Ever since he got back into youth ministry, he's been very caring and
Welcome back.
insightful in his answers.
Well, that needs to change. That's not going to make a show great.
That's beautiful.
All right. Anyway,
Thank you for
fun,
your
short.
encouragement.
Yeah.
We love
That's it.
our team
5-year run coming to a close and
Coming-
a new beginning.
coming to a change.
There you go.
Coming to a change. We have loved the team. We love the support from Simply Youth Ministry, paying for this and hosting it. And this is not a free. I mean, we don't get paid. None of us have ever taken a dime from
Yeah.
this show. I mean, maybe meals every once in a while
Yeah.
have been purchased for us, but this is not free. It's cost. It costs Chris time. It costs Simply Youth Ministry the bandwidth. You know,
You know what bandwidth is?
I know that it costs.
Yes. Yeah. That's great. And
Whatever it is, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's
Internet
going to cost
storage.
more than the video camera that I just bought for our
Yeah.
new show. And we
Yeah.
got to buy
True.
microphones.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we got a little work to do, gang. But
We got these microphones from Jim Burns. Maybe he'll give us some more.
Oh, yeah,
no, we
we
bought 'em
did. These were inherited from
Yeah, we
some,
bought 'em.
Yeah.
we bought them from.
We did. Simply bought them.
Yeah,
That's right.
Interesting.
So anyway, it's been
Well,
a
there it
fun 163 episodes. We will start over with something new and something different.
We should
Kate,
play Fade to Black by Metallica. It's a great way to end
Or
something.
Shot to the Heart, don't you think?
Yeah.
About a little Bon Jovi
Fade
to
to
send
Black
us
by
out.
Metallica is funny.
Yeah. Have you
All
heard
right.
that song before?
Yes. Goes fade through the heart. Audience,
through
friends,
the heart.
team members, love you. Have enjoyed serving you.
Try and shed a
Simply
tear.
Youth Ministry will have
There's
other
nothing to say.
podcasts, and they may capture your heart and great. And we want to continue that relationship.
Great stuff's going to happen. Change
Absolutely.
is not bad. Change has to happen. Transitions aren't bad. Anybody who's been through transition understands.
Yeah.
Change and transition just happens.
Yeah. And I'm
We're
very
all
excited
just old
about
man
the
again.
future.
Yeah.
All right.
So weak over there.
Well, I just exercised.
We
Can
really
you tell
don't
us?
do this when we end.
I know.
It
I
just
don't know.
feels
You
like,
guys are-
come on, we should. Both
Yeah.
hands in. Both hands in. This is
Get
not-
it in. Get it in. Get it in. And
Thanks for watching, and keep watching SimplyYouthMinistry.tv for details on the relaunch of the show. Have a great summer.